G'day, it is Jai, that Aussie Metal Guy here with Crank.com. So tonight, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that I'm getting to have a chat with Matty Matt of Adelaide's genre-defying trio, Testeagles, from the massive breakthrough of their Non Comprehendus album in 2000. But if you guys were listening, they did have the Bee Sting and the Friends EP, which I eagerly got before that Non Comprehendus as well. To big day out stages, they did go through a long hiatus and an explosive return at last year's Froth Fury, which I was lucky enough to be at. Testeagles have always been a band that pushed boundaries in the Australian heavy music. Matty, thank you so much for joining me.
Jai, yeah, it's great to be here, mate. And thanks for that wrap there. We're quite proud of our roots in Adelaide, especially, and coming from a smaller city, I guess, of the country, and having the support from all the Adelaide people. So yeah, happy to be coming back.
Yeah, there was definitely a whole lot of support back then. It was the time long before internet where it was word of mouth, but you guys managed to spread your roots all over the place. I was in little country old Renmark and I come across you guys as well, even before that Non Comprehendus, just through word of mouth, and was instantly sold. You had this sound that blended heavy riffs, electronic beats, samples, hip hop, all sorts of stuff, but it appealed to that real metal generation as well at the time.
Oh, such a good time with the crossover in the music and the experimentation and different sounds and things like that. The technology was, catching up to be able to do all this sort of stuff live. And yeah, look, we worked really hard. I think that was, the main thing that we did was we just traveled around. I can remember playing to like 2, 3, 4, 5 people, yelling out, play some Cold Chisel or something like that. I mean, we did hundreds of gigs like that, in the most outrageous places that we probably shouldn't have been. But yeah, that's like you said, it was a grassroots thing. And I think that's why we still have such a fan base today, even though we haven't been at it for a long time. Yeah, it was a culture, and it was definitely a scene. And it's something that we all shared together, and that's why I don't think anyone's ever forgotten it.
Oh, no way, that's for sure. And you guys had that sound, as I was mentioning, that did bring in all those different elements as well. And that the Adelaide scene in general, but the scene in Australia in general wasn't exactly overflowing with bands at that time that were doing that crossover stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Triple J, back in those days, they used to not dictate, but they had a fair big say in, what bands would sort of get played on air,
Yep.
and which ones would get the big festivals and things like that. And I think it was, there was a few Aussie bands around that were doing a similar thing, but they just didn't have the combination of, the hip hop, the techno, the sort of metal riffs, metal drumming, even some melodic sort of elements in there. But I think worldwide it sort of came on the scene at the right time for us.
Yep.
All your bands for Korn and Limp Bizkit, all that sort of
Yep.
stuff. They were the huge bands of that time, and without trying, we were just the Australia's version of that, I guess.
Yeah, for me at that time, there was like I was getting into all those bands you were saying, like the Korn, the Machine Heads, and all those kind of bands at that time that was coming
Yep.
out. But there
Yep.
were a few Aussie bands that were really, for me, grabbed me. It was like Testeagles, Frankenbach. I remember Super Heist was doing a lot of that stuff at that
Yep.
time, and they were
Yep.
like for me a few of the standout Aussie metal bands. And I was instantly sold. I got that Friends and Bee Sting EPs as well, and just hammered the fucking crap out of them, man. It was a really different time for music, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean CD, it was CDs back then, but our first EP was still on cassette.
Yep.
And yeah, there was, it's so different now where you can just Google and find a song or whatever. You had to search it out, you had to, and once you finally come across that CD or that piece of music, as you said, you would just thrash the absolute shit out of it. So
And you become
Yes, it's
emotionally invested, don't you, Matty? And that's the thing I think that the Adelaide scene and the Aussie fans of Testeagles became really emotionally invested with you guys as well.
good one. Yes, I think that's a great way to describe it. It was almost like a footy team where,
Yep.
that's our team, we're the cheer squad. Um, and I think you're right. It was people could identify what they were feeling at the time, and our music represented that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Non Comprehendus album, that absolutely blasted out of the gates. I remember, I'm going to touch on this because that track turned that shit up. I was so fucking glad you got that out ahead against Rage Against the Machine. I was like, that's the real fucking one. But that Non Comprehendus did hit number 8 on the ARIA chart and did become a defining Aussie album that is still fucking played today, all these years later. What's some of your fond memories of that time, the writing and recording process and such?
The fond memories. Well, it's usually pretty stressful when you're doing
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, the fond memories were we were a extremely tight unit,
Yep.
the band, and also our immediate crew, like our people that would work close to us. So sharing that sort of relationship with people and doing what you love, that was a hugely positive thing. Um, yeah, there was plenty of hard times. Like
Yep.
it's a bit hard to explain, but we were still recording on tape machines back then. There's no digital recording whatsoever, so we were trying to do things that were very tight, precise, and technical. And I remember 80 having to play hammer drill about 25 times in a row,
Yep.
which is pretty tough song on the drums.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then just getting out and playing, all over Australia was amazing. Meeting other bands and just having that experience of like, we're on the road and we're doing what we love.
I suppose at that time, Matty, you don't, I know what it's like, me, I'm 45 now, and it's like you don't think much at those times you're going through at that moment. But did you ever think back and go, man, like at that time you're making that and that non-comprehendus, what an impact that album was going to have on the scene and what an impact you guys were going to have with just what you've done at that time?
Yeah, me personally, I didn't really have that sense at the time. Like you
Yeah,
say, you don't really take it on. Looking back on it, yeah, absolutely, 100%. In our heads, we were still not where we wanted to be. We wanted to keep getting
yeah.
better and expand further. And what's the next thing? So I was never really resting on oh, we've done that now, and that was awesome. We're always pushing on to the next thing. So yeah, but looking back on it, yeah, definitely, it was quite a huge thing.
Yeah, and you did play. I did mention the big day out before I started recording. I seen you guys. I can't remember what I can hear. It might have been 99 or 2000. Full disclaimer, I was probably a little bit off my guts at the time. But, it was an amazing show. One I was really glad to be at as well. Like going to those big day outs and seeing bands like yourself. And when I seen you at the big day out set, it was an amazing show. The one that stuck with me for a long fucking time. What's
Cool.
your memories from playing those festivals and big day outs at that time?
Um, yeah, they were pretty scary.
Yeah.
And not just from playing in front of a large crowd, but you're backstage and like you're hanging out with like the Chili Peppers and Nine Inch Nails, and like Flea walks straight past you and Dave Grohl's just sitting there talking to Taylor. So there's this like, holy fuck, am I actually good enough like to be part of all this? Am I worthy? So there's a bit of a mental battle going on there. Technically, though, it was like performing on those massive stages was insane, because
Yeah.
usually the drum kit's the loudest thing. When you're playing in a pub or a smaller venue, drum kit's mega loud, and I just remember playing the first song, Stomp, and had my head down. Here we go. And I looked around to see if 80 was playing, and I just couldn't hear the drums like at all. And I look around, and he's swinging his sticks as hard as he could, and he's like doing his thing, and I'm like, holy fuck, man, I can't hear any drums. All I can hear is my guitar and vocal, because we weren't used to having that stuff put through the monitors, the side fields and stuff.
Yep.
So, and then the connection between 80 and D, it was hard. It's hard to keep because they're like 30 meters away from you, So, yeah, yeah. But I mean, it was just, for me, it was unreal to see an Aussie band to come from the grassroots to be up there. And like you said, it was our whole crew, man, was there. It was massive. It was like, every Testeagle person in Adelaide was at that one show. So yeah, man.
That absolutely rocked, dude. I still have the ticket for it. Flash forward to last year, the Froth Fury, man. I actually remember this one. I was sober and snapping it. It was great. It was amazing. It was the first live set since 2008. What was it like for you guys playing that set, being backstage, feeling the crowd's reaction, the whole thing?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, it was different, obviously, but this time I could feel the crowd a lot more, and I was a lot more in the moment, because I don't think I was so caught up in the scene and in the music and in everything being right. It was just amazing to like be there, see everybody, the passion that was there, like pretty much every person in the crowd singing every single word to every song. That was just incredible. It's absolutely amazing. And then to look around and see 80 on the drums and then D on the bass, after all these years, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, it was an amazing set. I was snapping that and I was singing away to every song as well. And it just felt so special, not only for you guys, as you can see, but for the fans to be a part of that. You could just look around and see that everyone's singing along word for word after like 17 years since you guys played. That must have really hit home for you guys as well, yeah, after everything you've been through, and to kind of come back and be able to have that, have this other run that you guys, I feel, really fucking deserved this run, and to be able to play these shows and do what you're doing now.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think we did deserve, sort of a comeback, but more so even for the fans. For the longest time, I was like, oh, I've done the music thing, and it was a lot of selfish reasons why I wasn't keen to get back into it.
Yep.
And then it was a few years ago where I thought, man, there's all these fans out there that are still loving it. They're still posting all the time on the net.
Yep.
It's not just about me. It's about that whole scene, that whole crew that we did build back in the 90s. It's a family. So, I was really wanting to honor that, the support from all of those people. Let's all have another time and another go at it. Go back and enjoy what we had there, and reminisce. And, I've already heard lots of people they're catching up with mates that they haven't seen for like 10 or 15 years, and they're doing it again. They're going to stay, they're going to have a weekend out, and they're going to, do what they used to do back in the day. So yeah, it's epic. So
no,
good.
it's absolutely epic. It's good seeing like guys like you and a Double Dragon and Lee. Those guys are back together playing. It's really bloody cool to see guys like yourselves kind of getting back together. Tell me a little bit about like what sparked the full 25th anniversary tour you guys have coming up as well.
Well, there was the 25-year thing, obviously.
Yep.
And initially, because if you go back to 2000, we did an Australian tour with Sunk Lodo.
Yep.
So initially our plans were to do that. Those guys weren't able to do it this year. I think they're gonna. I think maybe next year they might be on it. So yeah, there was that 25 years thing that we thought, it's an anniversary, and once again going back to paying homage to the support that we've had over all the years, and also just to celebrate it, another time, again, with friends, family, other other musos, other bands. Like we're taking out one of our old friends, Bushido.
Yeah.
We used to play with back in the day. So, it's not just the the fact that we're going back out. It's generating all these other things on the side, if you like. So yeah, so good.
It is so good. And then with D kind of back, he's overcome a lot of shit to get where he is as well. And it was really special to see him as well, like playing that Froth and Fury and with you guys again, rolling again. Such an amazing story of perseverance as well with that man. What's it been like with that too, with D?
Oh man, it's initially it was just the shock of it all was,
Yep.
and then I'd encourage, if people are out there listening and they haven't seen the story, if you go on the Testeagles YouTube channel, there's a piece on there called D's story,
It's beautiful.
and it's a brief insight into what he's been through in the last 10 years or so.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's horrifying watching it, and you feel hopeless because there's nothing that you can do. Um, but at the same time, it shows the strength of people, and what they can come through and what they can achieve. Even in the worst possible situation that you could imagine. So, yeah, I mean, he's an absolute hero to me.
Yep.
And the fact that we have another chance to go and to do what we love again, um, and share that together is, that's a gift. It's an actual gift. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the strength of music and perseverance. I recently overcome stage 4 cancer as well, so I try and touch on notes like that of people's perseverance and how great it is to see people pushing through like that because we all have things we overcome in life. To see him come around and overcame what he has overcome and back into the music with you guys is absolutely unreal to see. Um, I do want to talk about as well what it's like for you guys as well with shows Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and the Gold Coast. Are you looking forward to getting back to Adelaide again? I think that's the last time was the Froth and Fury one, wasn't it?
Last time was Froth. Basically, the same time was
Already sold out too, eh?
November last year. Adelaide sold out.
Yeah, no
I
surprises.
wouldn't have doubted it for a second because I know how hardcore Adelaide crew are, and I'm just so happy, man. It's gonna be a great night, a great celebration. The families we're going to be back together again, and yeah, I'm just blown away by the whole thing that it's actually going to happen.
So all this playing together again, man, does this kind of are you guys thinking of making any new music in the future? Has this kind of like got the creative juices flowing at all or anything like that? I gotta ask, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
There's still, I mean, there's so many songs there that we had ready to go back
Yep.
in the day that would still be perfectly relevant now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say it's more than likely. Let's just say that.
Just say that.
Um, there's other battles in life when you get older as well, and it's not as easy as just taking a year off and writing and recording and doing all that sort of stuff. But technology these days, you can do it, you can chip away at it and put something together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's looking positive that there will be.
And you're like, you've been around the Adelaide scene for quite a while now, and looking at how things are going now with things like the Froth and Fury Fest, and then you got Chris who was doing the Churches of Steel and all the. How are you feeling about the live scene in Adelaide at the moment? We've got some cool things going on.
Dude, it's incredible. It's amazing that it survived COVID and then all Netflix and bloody
Oh
pokies
no.
back in the day, and just shows you the power of it, man. Like of music, and especially local music, and it will never go away. You can download a song, you can watch a YouTube video of a band, but there's just nothing like being in that place at that time. It's the whole journey of getting there on that night. There's always a story of like someone lost their wallet, or it's just the whole thing of it is just you can never take it away. It's always going to be there, I reckon. Um, but yeah, it's the guys that are that are organising the stuff in Adelaide now are just so professional and
Oh yeah.
so switched on and working really, really, really hard. So yeah, I think it's as good as ever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going really, really well. Matty, I could talk all fucking day, mate, but I'm going to let you move on to the other ones, mate. Thank you
Beauty.
so much for taking some time to chat with me about Testeagles, the upcoming 25th anniversary tour, Froth Fury, the big day out, and everything else. Matty, do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you'd like to add in there, my friend?
Well, yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody out there. We're going to put on the best show that we can. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, you better hurry up because Adelaide's already sold out, and I know the other ones are really close. So yeah, get your old school crew together, and let's do it like it's 1999.
Damn straight, tease and style. Everyone get amongst it. Cheers, mate.
Good on you, Jai.